I mean,
We are live.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
hey.
back. It's
Hi,
Tuesday.
everybody.
We're back.
Did
We're back.
we put our post on there that we're live?
Oh, hold on. Uno momento. Let me do the necessary.
Do it on WhatsApp.
What times? No.
How was you guys' evening?
Hectic.
Good.
Hectic.
Nice.
Hold on.
I just got back from the gym.
Oh, really? Which one? F45?
No, I've left it. Actually, no, I was there, but I went back as a do work experience there. So.
Oh, nice.
And then I went to the gym.
Oh,
and it's like I stepped into a rave because it was just. So busy.
Yeah, you definitely need to come to ours.
I will. I promise you I will.
Hi, Georgie.
Hi, Georgiana.
Georgina.
Wow. I'm very sorry.
Hey, Georgina.
I just butchered your name, and I just talk about butchering names. Great.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me share.
You need to come, Simon, Sunday.
Right, cool.
Sunday's my rest day.
What? Gym on Sunday, okay?
Well, I like to rest on a Sunday.
Nah, you got to do grid with us, like.
Right.
This is David Lloyd. I love David Lloyd for the spa.
I hate David Lloyd.
Why? What is that relationship like?
I used to love it. Now I hate it.
Oh,
Damn,
okay.
Yes.
David Lloyd is nice though. The spa, like Anissa, the spa in David Lloyd is on point. The gym is nice. So it's like a health. What do you guys call it over here? A
health spa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do tell.
Yeah. So you get like sauna, swimming pools. You have tennis court.
Cool.
You have gym. Okay. You have
Also, you could like do different outdoor activities or like sport like activities and the usual spa.
Yeah. And you have.
I mean, but if I go into the spa, I'm not trying to be going outside to play tennis and guess what?
No, it's indoor as well. So you have indoor and outdoor tennis.
Yeah, because
I've been to better places. I've seen better.
I got my passes back. So
I think I need a spa. Oh, Georgina says she got her passes back. So definitely, Georgina, don't miss me out. Please take me, you and Dior.
I'll pass.
He's out. Oh my God. Hi, everyone that's locked in. Thank you for coming and tuning in. Welcome.
Listen, how does the AC man come and fix your AC? And your AC is still icy and dripping. So I quarreling big time, only to realize, yes, it's you only putting on your AC in the night and it freezing up. Wow.
Oh, what?
So I feel like I sucks because I was real quarreling. And I thought it was the AC man fault. My bad.
Oh. So, but he did fix it. He did come and fix it.
He did. So it was my fault. Ooh. It was my fault. So if my AC man ever see this, I'm really sorry.
AC man. Apologies, AC guy.
Good night, Miss Allison.
Good night. All right, guys, we are 4 minutes in. Do you guys want to start?
Yes.
I guess we
do
could.
This.
All right, let's do with the intro. Let's go.
I just want to keep jamming.
Yeah, that tune was hard, but I was like, yeah, 30 seconds ain't enough.
Good night, everybody. It is Anissa, and we are Sincerely His Story. Tonight, I will be your host. We have JC with us, our usual co host, and we have a special guest tonight whose name I
Yes.
already forgot. But you know what?
Simon.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say Sion, right?
Oh.
You're gonna butcher my name already. You've only met
Listen,
what?
let me just put it out there. I'm very terrible with names. I am. I am. So in Trinidad, usually when you forget somebody's name, you'll say, "Good night, my darling. How are you
Oh,
doing,
okay.
love?" So, good night, my darling. How are you?
Okay.
I'll just do the welcome. Welcome him on board. Sorry, Simon. I didn't mean to give you that clap.
Oh, that was wow.
What was that?
I'll give you a better clap. Welcome, Simon. Welcome.
Oh,
We'll
thank you,
start
thank you, thank
over.
you, thank you, thank you. I mean, oh, stop it, stop it, stop it.
So,
Oh,
Simon,
oh my
introduce
gosh.
yourself. Tell the people a little more about you. Who are you? Where you from? Where's your scene?
So I'm Simon. I go by the name, or my handle is wait, there. SideGTV on all socials. Um, I live stream on Twitch. I live stream kind of like football games. Started to be a personal trainer. I coach football.
Mm-mm.
Dad, I'm a husband. You
Mm-mm.
know.
All right, I'm very glad you said that to the ladies in here tonight. Can relax yourself.
But
Behave.
my wife's here as well, so just
Oh yeah. Oh, good night, wifey. Thank you for joining us.
that's my pleasure.
So, y'all, good
Yes.
night.
So you're
I'm sure
getting
you saw the flyer,
Yeah.
and oh my God, oh you see the start already. Who's
Like-
Georgina? Georgina is your wife. I say you,
yeah.
Georgina, please behave. You single, right? So y'all would have seen the flyer. Tonight's topic is Postman Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people inboxed me. They kind of already guessed what it was about, but all so fast and
Oh
impatient.
Lord.
Like, just wait till we tell all, oh gosh, oh gosh, yes. Yes, we are going to talk about gossip.
Yep.
We've all been guilty of some gossip. Now, I
Yep.
was I was really intrigued by the topic because I
Mm.
realized that my definition or my understanding of gossip
Mm.
is different to what it actually is. And I found some really, really good information. Good night, Millen. How are
Good
you? I
night.
found some really good information. So
Mm.
let me start the thing. Simon, what is your take on gossip? What do you think it is? What's your definition?
Do you know, right? Gossip has like such a negative like connotation to it. So as soon
Mm-hmm,
as you say gossip, it's like, oh, like who's done
mm-hmm,
something bad? You
mm-hmm,
know, and I don't think it serves any purpose other than to kind of carry news that doesn't actually help the person that's involved. That's
right,
just that's just my personal experience.
right.
I mean, there's such a fine line between like kind of gossip and just like talking about someone to help them or
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm,
Mm.
to inform them about something.
right.
Yeah.
But when it's gossip, it's like, guess what? I got something juicy to tell you. Oh my god! It's like, girl, sit down, girl. Sit down,
Yeah,
girl. I got this.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But to be fair, as much as I hate it,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
like I'm really guilty of it. You know what I mean? Like
I think everybody is
when I get in from
some
work,
bit, some bit, somewhere
Yeah,
in between. Like everybody is, they gossip some way or the other.
mm,
They
right.
do. Everybody
Yeah,
does it. Yeah,
yeah.
they
What
participate.
participate?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then, JC, what's your definition for gossip?
Huh. So gossip. I would say like, you know, when you talk it, well, for me, especially in the environment or the community that I grew up in, when you like, oh girl, and you start talking about somebody' business that, you know, like, don't be talking about that person' business. You know, like you see this, like for instance, you see
Uh-huh.
this girl coming down the street and you know something happened with her, and you and your
Right.
friends sitting down watching, and you did like, ooh, Yeah, let me tell you about her, let me tell you. So
I
she
get it.
this and she that, and then you start a conversation based on what you heard.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be true, but it's just what you heard.
Ah, right. So
Mm-hmm.
I was very stunned when I did the research for the topic and realized that there is a fine line between gossip and rumors. So let me give you the
Mm.
definition because you all know we like to come with the facts. We want to give you proper things, right? None of rum shop talk. Gosh, I spit in real Trinity slang, but none of rum shop talk, right?
That's a
So
bar,
the,
like a pub.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
You know how
rum
they
shop,
gossip at the pub? Yeah.
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 So it's
Yeah.
none of pump talk, none of street side definition. This is the real deal, right? So they define gossip as casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving details that are not confirmed as being true.
True.
It's usually
Okay.
malicious information meant to cause hurt to someone's character, emotional, or mental state. So
Wow.
it's usually something that isn't true. Now, there's another definition that says it also involves intimate details about somebody
Good. Oh.
that
Mm,
they may not want shared with John public,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be about sex, about marriage, about
Mm-hmm.
whatever, something private that they may
Mm-hmm.
not want to share with everybody else, and you
mm,
take it and you share it with somebody else
mm-hmm.
in confidence, it's considered gossip. And
Wow.
it usually is when it is done in a negative manner.
Negative way.
So for example, earlier, when you're with your boo and all you meet up for the day, you now meet up your husband for the day and you're like, boy, you wouldn't believe what happened today, and you're
Yeah.
laying him the story. That's not necessarily by definition. It's not necessarily considered gossip. It's considered gossip when it becomes malicious,
Hmm.
when you are doing it with the intent to hurt somebody,
Someone.
then it becomes gossip. I was like, okay, because to me, as long as you're talking about that person and you can't back it up, you're
You're
talking
gossiping.
nonsense. You're talking gossip, right?
Yeah.
But it really isn't. It is specifically when you are doing something malicious.
Wow.
So now I can ask again, have you ever really gossiped?
I would.
Not in that way.
No,
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think I've gossiped to hurt
Correct.
someone, to pass on like false information,
Right.
Yeah.
to see their demise. I don't think I've done that.
Yes.
I think the only way where the only time I think I have gossiped was when it's like, when you've got fresh information and everybody now is like, you've got the power, you're the one in charge.
Right.
Everyone
Mm-hmm.
gravitates towards you.
Right.
So it's like when I've got this fresh information, I'm like, guess what, guys? I know this, and then everyone's looking at me, and I'm like the speaker now. Everyone's hanging on every word that I say. I think that's what kind of persuades or entices me
Right.
to gossip,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but not in a way to seek revenge or to see the downfall of someone.
To see the
Yeah.
but there are people, and this is why we call it the Postman Syndrome. There are people who exist in the world whose sole purpose. You ever meet somebody who just don't like somebody? They just don't like that person.
Yeah.
They
Mm-hmm.
just do not like. Oh, and Trinidad, they say, "Oh, my blood don't take you,"
Take care. Mm-hmm.
and they will do anything. And I think the social media era has made it easy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like it's normal. So
yeah,
if you
Mm-hmm.
see something in the blogs about somebody popular, you see something about Patrice Roberts, you like, it's
Yeah.
something you see, but it is defaming this
That
person.
person.
It
Exactly.
is defaming that person, and somebody is asking, how are you hurting the person if they don't know you're talking about them? Well, it gets back. Usually, word gets back. It's not, you never talk about somebody and it doesn't get back to that person. One way or
Mm-hmm.
the other, it could be today, it could be 10 years from now, it's going to
It
get
will
back to
get
them.
back.
If it gets back to them, how is that person going to feel? How are
Yeah.
they going to
Mm,
feel? It's malicious. Anything that
mm,
you do um, with a malicious intent is
Mhm.
considered gossip. Now, there's a difference, right, Jace? There's a difference
Yeah.
in um, gossip and giving a
Life
life update.
updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
So, in doing my research, I was
Mm-hmm.
seeing that there's different types of gossip as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes we gossip, there's gossip, and there's gossip with slander. And I think
Right.
that's what we was just talking about. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's when you being malicious with that person. And
Yeah.
then there's gossip with news. Like Simon
Mhm.
said, like there's, oh, I have some information
The
off the
and
tea.
it's
press.
news. Hot off the press. I have the tea. Use the one with that. And then there's gossip and conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that just you and this person just talking somebody's business, not
Right.
with any intent to take it further than where it currently is,
Right.
but you're just having a conversation based on that other person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Understand? And I
Yeah.
think once we understand that, then we have a concept of what it is we actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
mm.
So when
Yeah.
it comes to life updates, now life updates is a tricky thing because we have personal life updates,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you have that one person or that one confidant that
Right.
you talk to and you relay how you feel or whatever experience that you had in that time. You know, you use that time to tell that person, well, this is what happened with me or blah blah blah. But then I think with social media what happens is now people tend to publicize their life updates.
Right.
We have
All
YouTube,
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have
Yeah.
yeah,
TikTok,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so we have all these different things, and sometimes people tend to share more of their life on Facebook, and that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes tend to lead to gossip.
Gossip. That's right.
Right. Yep. Yep.
That's right.
Because
You understand?
the juicy bits goes
Mm,
viral.
mm,
Exactly.
I would share, hey, I'm certified in this. You get about 10 likes. Let me post on here that how she named son and tag him. How she named son is trash and don't have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with me, boy. You will see
a billion
hundreds of
likes.
comments.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, man is dog. This, that, the other. Because bad news travels faster.
Master.
It's so
Yeah,
much
Exactly.
easier.
yeah.
You see it on the TV as well. They're not posting anything that's not sensationalized. And the
Mm,
things that are sensationalized are actually very, very negative. It's always
Exactly.
negative. Good news travels very slow on snail back. It
Mm-hmm.
travels very, very slow.
and I think the reason why like bad news or bad gossip is so attractive is because we as like the audience, when we see bad gossip, it makes us feel better about our own lives. So for example,
Mm.
if we see that a couple and there's adultery in their marriage,
Mm.
we as the audience are like looking at thinking to ourselves, well, I'm glad that's not us. I kind of feel better
Yeah.
about myself. So that's why everyone gravitates to that. No one wants to feel bad about their own life, so they want to put down other people and look at other people's lives and think, "Oh yeah, you're under me," and they see it as some form of entertainment at the same time.
Yeah. That's
And
that.
that
I was just about
and
to
that
say that.
and that's why social media, well, gossip on social media is so attractive. Is
Hmm.
because it makes us feel good about our own life. If we don't like our own life, we look for other things about other people that's worse than us to make ourselves feel better.
Exactly.
Correct. Correct.
I
And
definitely agree.
yeah, that would take me into the addiction part of gossip
Mm.
and why it is so easy for people to carry bad news. Now, when I was doing the research, um, psychologists weren't, it wasn't a unanimous decision that gossip could actually be an addiction, right?
Mm.
Yes.
Meaning they have not done, they don't have empirical data to say, well, hey, we studied these people and we come up with this is what we come up with. It's an
Mm-hmm.
actual addiction. But study of behavior would show, some of the psychologists with study of behavior would show that gossip differs from the human tendency to talk about other people, right? Yes, it focuses on the negative information. It gives people a sense of power, which lines up with what he's saying. It gives you a sense of power. Research demonstrates that gossip is emotionally rewarding for some people.
Wow.
And most people would agree that saying negative things about others is okay. Why? Because, it deflects what's really going on with
Really
me.
going on.
And I have the opportunity now to shine the spotlight on somebody else. And that is one of the reasons, just one, that's one of the reasons why gossip could be addictive for some people. You're right.
Gossip could you be seen as like a scapegoat for some. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna take it off of myself, but I make myself look good in this situation. But oh, yeah. And it's easy to
Yeah.
point. I think gossip makes it easy to point the finger at other people.
Yep.
It really does.
It distracts
It really,
you
really.
from your own insufficiencies. There's an
I'm not gonna
article about
lie. There's this lady. I ain't calling no names. All I know I just
right.
drop names, but I ain't dropping none tonight.
Drop the name.
I can drop
No
where she is. She's
gossiping.
in PA. She's in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Oh
Um,
God.
too far.
every time we link up or every time we like together or something, I promise you, I didn't even know TMZ and Gossip News had a station. Like I didn't know it even was on TV. And she would be
Right.
on this like all day long. And every time she opens her mouth, it's like, oh my God, did you see Amber Rose? Amber Rose was doing this. I thought Amber Rose was like that. And I was like, I don't know these people. Why are you
Yes.
asking me or
Yes.
talking to me? Like, I don't know how to answer. I don't follow this. And she's just like, yeah, and Amber Rose this.
She lives for the drama,
Addicted.
boy.
She lives for
Addicted. Correct.
celebrity drama.
Yep.
Lives for
And
it.
and it's like you almost submerge yourself into what is going on with other people so that you don't have to deal with what is
Your own
going on
going
with
on.
you. It is
That's
a
right.
And now that
distraction.
we're here now and I'm seeing it, I remember her saying certain things to me, and it makes sense as to why she was so consumed with gossip.
Right.
Because her life at that time was just
Tumultuous.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she just gravitated to
Yep.
celebrity gossip because it
Yep.
felt good for her. So
Yep.
that was her high. That was her thing to get her through the day.
Right.
That was her thing to deal with her kids. That was her thing to just
Yeah. She would hide away
continue
in
every
that.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like a form of escapism.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
yeah.
like this article that I came on, and I want to read a part of the article on Psychology Today. One of the psychologists was saying that, in his opinion, gossip is an ugly addiction, right? And that it is a repeated and ritualistic abuse of knowledge. It's okay if you know. It's when you abuse that knowledge, you take it everywhere because you can know it and keep it.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. You can know it and keep it. But he says
right.
it's the abuse of knowledge and our own personalities.
Mm.
He said
Mm.
gossip turns from polite conversation makers into rumor vampires,
Wow.
scandalizing private lives for personal satisfaction.
Rumor vampires.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're gonna be
Oh,
using that all
I'm
the
using
time
yeah,
now.
that. Right, let me write
yeah.
that one down. Listen,
Cause,
yeah,
'cause- because
you
people
rumor
do
vampire.
use it as conversation starters. Sometimes you meet somebody and you're like, "Oh, you didn't hear what happened on TV tonight? Two
Yeah.
people get shot by C3, and then it starts spiraling into something else."
Something
And he's
else.
like, it turns from just polite conversation into being a vampire, right?
Exactly.
Just so that it's for personal satisfaction. He
Yeah.
went on to say that it is addictive like any other addiction.
Mm.
We
Hmm.
only gossip because we want to be reminded of our own insecurities,
Mm.
failures, and voids within.
Wow.
Mm.
Engaging in gossip is only to divert our minds from introspection. So
Hmm.
that's like the example you gave with the the woman just now.
Yeah.
Like every time she sees you, instead of talking about what's really going on with her, what
She transfer it
what
into
she
something.
lacks on the inside, she'd prefer to talk about somebody else
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
because it's an actual addiction.
Do
Right.
you guys remember this game? I don't know if I don't think it was ever played in Trinidad, but I remember this game in the US that we had to do in gym. So somebody will tell us something
Hmm.
and then we have to repeat it to the other person.
Telephone.
Is it called Chinese whispers? We used to
Yeah,
call it.
and then
Oh,
at the
Yeah.
end of it, whatever was said from the very beginning has
Yeah.
completely changed.
Changed.
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to
Yeah.
what that person was talking about.
Yeah.
And that, I think that is like a form of gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think some people just addicted to adding the 2 cents
Right.
and changing the narrative because
Hmm.
it's easy to change the narrative.
Yeah.
It's easy
Yes.
to do that. So I think with that, and then when one person tells somebody like, no, this is exactly what happened, then that person, like, because my mom always say this. She always say, she's like, JC, you have to be mindful of what you say because you will have a best friend, your best friend have a best friend, and that
Yep.
best friend has a best friend, and it
Hmm.
goes, that chain goes. So it's like you would tell your best friend something, but by the time it reach that best friend 10th friend,
It's
it is
something
something
else.
completely
It's
different. It's
something
like,
else.
oh my god, she's this, she's that.
Mm.
Yep.
And the one thing, I think we have this perception where we think women are the ones who tend to be more gossipers than men. But there are men who, there are a lot of
Can
men
you hear my dog?
entertain gossip. They mightn't think it's gossip, but they gossip. Now, Simon, let me hear this.
Do you know? Look, I'll be honest, right? It's
Uh-huh. Tell us.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So all right. I would say this, right? I feel like gossip is like a form of. I'm just going to be like completely transparent. I think that in some ways gossiping could be a form of bonding, right? So like this
Yeah.
lady, your friend in Pennsylvania who wanted to gossip about what she saw on TMZ,
Hmm.
and that was maybe her way of one bonding with you or bonding with the people who, for example, who were fans of Amber Rose. So she wanted to like it's
Mm-hmm.
like a sense of identity. So
Uh-huh.
gossiping was her identity. So I mean, when I used to go F45 at the gym, right, everyone
My
needs to talk
husband is
everyone needs to talk about me. Like talk about everyone needs to talk to me about everything. All right.
Right.
And then like and it just came up in conversation. Like
Yeah.
I did not have the intent to gossip about that person, and it was not bad. It wasn't like really personal information or anything like that. I mean, for me, there's a certain line
Right.
I just kind of draw it there.
Mm.
But it was like F45 stuff, like things that happened
Oh,
in the gym. Yeah, which people were telling me, and kind of. But for me, it was like it was a form of like I'm bonding with our group. This is like
Yep.
it was like our thing inside of our group that everyone we talked about things and talked about
Hmm.
each other in the gym. But it was never like personal or anything like that. But I just think in some ways gossiping can be seen as like a bonding
It
mechanism.
is.
Like,
wow.
It is.
but
When
I
it
never
when
crossed that. I'm just gonna say I didn't never cross that line. I didn't talk about
mm,
personal stuff. Just
hmm.
I'm
There's
just
this
Hmm.
saying.
question. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he's even up.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, um, who is worse? The person that starts the gossip or the person who passes it on?
They're
Both.
both the same.
Both. Both. Because
Because they're
by
encouraging
definition,
it.
right? Exactly. By definition, which is why we started with the definition. By definition, it is something said or passed on with malicious intent.
Hmm.
If I say it with malicious intent, I am just as guilty as the
Hmm.
person who took that. Because you
Mm.
could say, oh, well, I just talked to JC about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Mm.
JC takes it and she tells, oh God, I'm going to call him Sean again, Simon.
Simon.
I real sorry,
I am
right?
Sean. He's Simon.
See,
Simon,
you've called me. You've called me Sean. Yeah,
Simon.
Simon,
I feel like
right?
I need to change
And
my
I
name.
take it and I tell Simon, I am just as guilty because, and this is what we're dealing with. We are not dealing with, the casual human urge to
Mm.
chat. and to talk. That's how we bond. It's one of the reasons, right? Why people would gossip. You bond over gossip. Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. But then when you consider that malicious aspect of gossip, something that is said with intent to harm, that
Mm-hmm.
part, both people guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Both people guilty. The person who said it and the person who then takes it and thought that
And
I was
carries it.
wise to run with it,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing harm. You're doing harm. And somebody asked earlier why, if the person doesn't find out, how does it hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, think of it this way. If that person was in that room right now and you said that, how would they feel? If
Mm-hmm.
it's going to cause that person to feel terrible, to be in a very terrible mental state,
Can
to
I share
feel
something personal on my end?
sick, as we say in Trinidad, what do you say?
Yeah. I would definitely share something very personal.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh, gossip. So sensitive. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
Oh,
All right.
that's it.
um, so in my younger years, right, when my mother was not in Trinidad, and it was just my sister and I in Trinidad until mom came for us.
Mhm.
Um, I think in that community, so much rumors was spread about me, about especially about things that I wasn't even doing, you know? And it hurt. It really did hurt. And it did, I think it kind of forced me to be tough in a sense, to
Mhm.
where I really don't care. Like sometimes being in that environment, I didn't care what people thought about me. I did whatever I wanted. But just to be in, say, for instance, like I will have to go to church and being in the church, and then I have to deal with them saying, oh, she was in the back of the maxi, or she was in the
Mhm.
back of the bus with this guy, and she was doing this and she was doing that. And
Right.
poor me, I wasn't even doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it do affect people's lives. It do. It really do. Because it did put a damper on me and me being myself at some points. And then also, because I didn't have anyone to step up for me, what tends to happen
Right.
is that people started formulating and wanted to allow certain things to stick on me.
Yeah.
So, they started formulating their own thing based on gossip.
Because they want to believe that. We so want to believe negative things about people that you will hear something. You know it sounds erroneous. You know that. I come down the road in a car, you see me drop out in a car.
They
But
say you come
somebody
out in a
tell
bus.
you, somebody tell you I was just in the back of the bus with about 10 fellas, and you choose to be, sometimes we choose, it's so much easier to believe something negative about that person,
Yeah.
and that bothers me about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You never meet me nowhere, you don't know me, you never spend time with me,
Mm-hmm.
never. You don't know my personality. If you see me outside, people usually say that I am stuck up. She don't talk to people. She's not nice. She feels she better than you. Never talk to me. You are
Exactly.
basing that on something that somebody told you,
Yeah.
right? And then you have that in your head, and then you treat me with an attitude. So I pass and I say good morning, and you, or you ain't even get married. You just
Yeah, you just
put up
watch.
your nose. You understand? Because she feels she. How do you know that? You've never interacted with me, but we want so badly to believe. It's like we are attracted to negative.
But how
It's
do you
so
deal
much
with
easier.
that? When you're in an environment that is surrounded by people who loves to gossip, for example, the community that
Mhm,
I grew up in, Guaguari, sorry.
mhm.
Um, how do No, it is
Yeah.
true. We grew up in
Yeah,
that, and I could say
yeah.
that. I can say that. But when you grow up in that environment, how can we advise somebody to say like, all right, look at it from, or how what can we say to advise someone in that particular environment?
To be honest, there's no formula. I'll
So
let Simon go first.
okay, so oh thanks. So I had a situation right many years ago where people talking about me, and there is a way to kind of resolve the whole, to get the gossiping to stop and to have their opinion of you
Mhm,
change, right?
Mm,
So I had a lot of people talking about me, and it was true. But it was the information about me was being passed on to people who it didn't involve.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like spreading like wildfire.
Right.
So I can't physically go and tell each and every one of them stop talking about me. Yeah, it's impossible, and the gossip is not going to stop. Yeah, like I said, it's like wildfire. It's just going to pick up momentum, more people talking about it. So what I did is the one thing that not many people do these days is I just kept a low profile. I just kept a very, very low profile, and I just did me. Yeah, I just focused. I focused on my own life. I focused on my marriage. I focused on my work. I focused on just kind of bettering myself because I made a mistake, which is what caused the gossiping to start. But I just said, you know what? Whether it take me a day, a month, a year, I'm just going to do me. And then over time, it did stop. And their opinion of me turned positive.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So it was very, very negative. But over time, it took a couple of years, but then now it became a positive, where a few of them now I actually talk to.
Right.
Okay. And that's all because I just did me. So I let the gossiping carry on. I was just at peace with the fact that you can just say what you want about me, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. You do what you got to do. I know what I have to do and what I am. So I just kept a low profile, focused on what's important in my life.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to try and do it to convince them. I did it because I know me and I just wanted to better myself in the situation.
Yeah.
Over years, the opinions changed, the gossiping stopped, all because I just kept a low profile, just kind of humble myself.
And to do it right.
And that's it.
I
don't know if that's the best way to do it with gossiping, but that's the only way that I knew.
And that's why, and
it worked.
That's why I said there is no formula to this thing. I guess it depends on what do you want the outcome to be.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Sometimes, like we said in the beginning, right? Sometimes it could be something that's very personal that happened. So in his case, he made an error, right? That was personal. And people run with it like wildfire. And then there are instances where you have no control over that. People formulate this thing, they pull it out from a hat, and it
is what it is.
Going. It just keeps going. But what do you want the outcome to be? Because I feel like if you feed into it, the more you feed into it, or the more you try to force people to see you in a positive light, like what he did, he just lay low. You know what? I make the mistake. It's all right. It's cool. I'll take the L. Go ahead and talk about me. They'll get over it 9 days. They'll get over it. But my focus is on my family.
Yeah.
And creating healthy relationships. So I'm just gonna lay low and do that. And I like Miss Tarian's comment. She said it's not what they say, it's what you react to as well.
Exactly.
Like you also have to develop. I mean, some people do it to extremes, right? Where they say, I don't care about nobody and I don't care about nobody's opinion. And then they act out. And then there are people who say, I don't care about your opinion, and they turn in. You understand? It's whatever you react to. When people realize that they are getting a rise out of you, they will keep going. They will keep going because, so she acting up. Okay, you see, I tell all you. And they get to perpetuate the very said thing that they kept saying all the time. They get to perpetuate that story. If you give them nothing,
then they have nothing to talk about.
After a while, you have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, because it will be dead. And like it is always say, sometimes especially when we do certain things and people, especially in a place where we made a mistake and people take it and they run with it and then they twist it and they turn it. He's always saying, the truth will prevail. Like it will show itself, and it will reach to some person's ear, and then that person will be like, all right, you're talking shit. Like it's done. I'm not carrying it anymore. Person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I say, the truth will always prevail, and people will always there will always be someone who says it ends with me.
Correct. You have to focus on you. I feel we get very, very caught up in trying to prove to other people that we are not what people say we
Say
are,
we are.
and then you end up being exactly. It's like
It can't
it's
Yeah.
like
run.
you end up being exactly what people say. You
Yeah.
end up doing exactly what because you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're
Reasons.
Right.
doing it to prove to people. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have to prove to people. You do what is best for
For
you.
you.
You do it
Yeah.
Exactly.
and make yourself better. You
Yeah.
would know how you're feeling. Because let me be real, there's nothing cute about gossip.
No, it
The
isn't.
effect of gossip is not cool. I remember in this community, a young woman was caught on camera stealing some underwear, right?
Mm.
And it went viral. It went viral. Now, I am not condoning the act, but the way people went on and the things that they were saying, I was like, this girl almost committed suicide. I kid you not. She
Wow.
just went in a hole. It made her feel so bad. And it's like people just nobody saw the apology that she put out.
Wow.
Mm,
Nobody saw that.
mm.
Nobody reposted that apology. All they were focused on is the fact
Was the
that these people in
embarrassment.
panty. Oh my gosh. It's like we're so addicted
And that's the thing.
to
I think
negative information.
we grew. There's so many. I think gossip now comes like a community thing
Yeah.
because you have,
You're
and it
part of the
just,
tribe.
yeah, and we talking about cycles on this season, right? This season, the theme is cycles, and we have parents who love to gossip. My mom always tell me this statement. She's like, my grandmother used to speak. Well, her mother used to speak French. So
Mhm.
I guess in Trinidad, they used to speak French before, but because they were gossiping as a community and in the home, they didn't teach the younger generation to speak French. Maybe it was a lost language, but in the home, they didn't pass it down because it was like, oh, child, go outside. Because they was talking people, like they were in people's business, they were gossiping. And then you have that person come now. My grandmother, say for instance, if my grandmother was that type of person, she would continue that gossiping.
Mhm.
So every time Susie come, Susie and Mama going and gossip, and you accustomed being in that cycle. You seeing it. So
And
Right.
that's what
now,
you see, and you think it's normal.
exactly. So now my mom see it,
Mm.
and my mom doing it, and then I come, and then I doing it. I participating in that gossip, and then
Yeah,
at some point you have to check that cycle and see like when is that going to end.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would you deal with something like that? If you grew up in a household where people are people are continuously gossiping. Your
Hmm.
family is known for gossiping. The community you're
Yes.
in is known for gossiping. How could we
How do you deal with that?
how do you
Here's
deal
the
with that? Or
thing.
how do you make a different decision?
You have to constantly remind yourself that gossip is done with malicious intent. You're not sitting there bigging up that person. You're
Mm.
not sitting there, um, giving them their accolades or spreading. It is
Hmm.
it is malicious, and you have to be able to recognize it as a problem even. If you
Mm.
don't see it as a problem, you are going to perpetuate that. You
Mm.
are
Yeah.
going to continue that. Let me tell you
Mm.
something. My mother, somebody called my mother recently and they said, I know you're here, so and so and so. And she's like, no, no, I didn't hear where I hear it from. I don't
Hmm.
entertain it, like Mr. Aaron says. I don't entertain it. So don't pick up your phone and call me and say, Gil, I
It's
hear.
the slap.
Yeah, right? Don't call me to tell me about nobody husband. Every time you call me is something negative. You don't
Yeah.
have anything positive. You ain't even saying good morning. Oh gosh.
Mm.
At least give me
Hmm.
a good morning. You ain't even saying that. Like I don't want that here. If you don't set boundaries with people,
Right.
especially if you grew up in that environment, if you
Just
don't
about to
set the
say that.
boundaries, it
Yeah.
is going to happen. Because
Yeah.
guess what? You'll say, well, I don't really say nothing. I just listening, bro. Why you think
Yeah.
they're coming back? Because they're listening. Because you're giving them that air. The minute you stop it, it's like, we can't call you. Well, I know
Yeah.
you does. There's what else. Well, I know you doesn't really partake in it now. Yes,
Mm.
all right. Go somewhere else with that.
I was going to say it's true. You should set boundaries with your family because the thing is that just because your family are tend to gossip
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have to be a product of their environment. You
correct.
can make a decision, or if you want to be quite upfront and say to them, look, if this is what you're going to do, I don't want to be a part of it. It's like for example, when I went to Jamaica, I did not going off top. When I went to Jamaica, and it was my uncle's wedding, all the men went to a strip club,
Mhm.
right? And I was just like, I ain't going.
Right.
And it kind of I don't know if everyone's opinion of me went down or up, but it changed, right?
Yeah,
Because I just said I'm not going. So it kind of like I just kind of set a precedent right there in my family. All the men, my dad, my uncles, my
yeah,
cousins, just say, look, if that's what you're gonna do, you do you, but that's not me anymore. I don't, well, not anymore, but
right.
I don't do strip clubs.
Yeah.
So you can do the same thing with your family. Say, look, if that's what you're gonna do, I don't do that. I don't
Right.
gossip. And
Yeah.
then you can go on and say, well, why don't you do it? And then that's when you say, look, it's because this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just stand your ground and just say, look, this is what I do. I don't do that no more. I don't think it's
Yeah.
healthy. I don't think it's healthy for you or the person you're talking about, and go and just take it from there.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be what they are. If anything, the way you live could possibly change them. They could see
Yeah.
that your life is kind of, blossoming because of the fact that you're doing things differently from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
would
not
say
going to know. But I'm
I would
sorry.
say don't gossip with me because especially if somebody gossip about me and I hear it, listen, you come and you tell me, JC, I heard this person say, oh, that person said, all right, hold on, no problem. I'll call
Why?
them on the other line. Like, yo, I got this person on the line. This person said that. What
Yeah.
is true?
And why
That's
do they
me.
feel comfortable telling you? That's why I
Exactly.
want to know. How come they were so comfortable to talk that level of negativity with you?
Mm.
Then don't come here. I don't want to hear. Don't come here with that. So let's give people some tips
Mhm.
because it's very easy. It's very easy to, step into that little realm. It's easy. I get it. Everybody doesn't have that self-control. And for some people, they are
Mm.
addicted to this thing.
Mhm.
Mm.
As they wake up in the morning, let me call so and so. Oh, I had to tell so and so. They are addicted to this thing. They get a thrill from it. They feel a rush from it. It makes them ignore their own issues. They just want
Mhm.
conversation or small talk or they're bored. Whatever it is, there are people who are addicted to this.
Yeah.
What tips can we give them? JC, you wanna go?
Um I would say, well, you know me. My first thing is introspection. Check yourself. Identify what that looks like for you.
Yeah,
See what it is for you. What does that look like for you?
yeah.
That would
I
definitely
had
be my first step.
I had introspection as well. And meaning sometimes the hardest thing to do is to look within.
Hmm.
Why am I doing this? Am I doing it because I'm bored? Nothing wrong with that. And I feel like the reason why we don't want to look within is because we are so hard on ourselves sometimes because you're judging others just the same way you judge yourself,
So,
right? Um, but you really have to be honest with
yeah.
yourself. Why am I doing this? What am I avoiding?
What's the thing? Am I the drama?
Am I the drama?
Am I the
Am I
gossiper?
the, am I
Am
the
I the
drama?
drama?
I'm not the
Yeah, I'm not
villain.
the drama,
Am I the
right?
villain? I'm not the
Yep,
villain.
right. You have to look within you, and it's okay. Sometimes you will see some parts of you that
Yeah, I
that
like
does
what
look good.
Terry and just say. I
Yeah,
like, hopefully it stays. But have you ever noticed seasoned gossipers don't grow? They stagnant because they have so much spare time and focusing on
and
others.
focusing on others.
And that
Correct.
Mhm.
is so true.
That's so
Yep.
true.
You
They
realize that
don't
they're not going
grow.
anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're not going because then you're not focused on anything else. You're not,
Exactly. You
and
just
and that was one of my points. So I'll put that point here now. Whatever you feed is going to grow.
mm-hmm.
If
Hmm.
you are constantly feeding gossip, feeding negativity, that's all you will see. That is all
Exactly.
you will attract. If you are somebody who is just listening all the time, why am I always attracting that? Because you're feeding it. And
Exactly.
whatever you feed is going to grow. It will always
Hmm.
be in your space.
Yep. Simon, do you
Like,
have a point?
Yeah, I do. And are we talking about like tips in terms of gossiping and things like that?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a proverb that I like, and it goes death and life are in the power of the tongue,
Hmm.
and those who love it will eat the fruit of it.
Hmm.
Right.
So like if you're gonna so in other words, if your mouth is gonna constantly speak negativity like death,
Hmm.
then it doesn't bring any life to yourself. But when you
Yeah.
speak life and positivity, then it brings it upon yourself at the same time. So
Yeah.
the thing is that like just like Tarian was saying in terms of seasoned gossipers don't
Hmm.
grow,
Hmm.
is because they're focusing so much negativity on other people. Their life comes to ruin because they're focusing on so
Yeah.
much on other people. They're
Yeah.
not dealing, like you said, like the you read a statement from a philosopher, I think it was, or a
Hmm.
psychologist,
Right. Yeah.
just talking about the what was it said about gossip? Oh, you said something about that really touched me as well. I can't remember what it was.
I said a couple of
Um,
things, but I can't remember.
I'll have to watch it back. But anyways, but yeah,
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to say is that when the people talk negativity, I truly believe that when you speak negativity, it comes back on yourself.
Exactly.
I truly believe that,
Yeah.
and to the point where you don't grow, you don't deal with that's it. You don't deal with personal things. You deflect,
Yeah.
and you don't deal with things that's going on in your own life.
Yeah.
And that's where it says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Because when you're focusing on so much on other people, like
Hmm.
so much in your own life is just gonna die. Joy, peace,
Yeah.
love, and all these things, it's
Exactly.
gonna be dead.
Correct.
There's gonna be no fruit in that.
Yeah. And the thing is, you have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we act like we don't have a choice, like you don't have control over what your tongue releases, or you don't
Exactly.
have control over your thoughts. You do have a choice. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. Why would you choose to speak death? Because if you're saying something negative, you are pouring death into that situation.
Mm,
You are choosing to pour death into that situation instead of choosing to make a conscious decision. And it's not going to be easy,
Yeah.
especially if you're accustomed doing it. It's going to come like a default. So you
Yeah.
automatically, every time you meet that person, you have to check yourself. Hey, you're
right.
doing it.
Right.
Yo, you're doing it. And hold yourself accountable.
To go for
Yo, you're doing it.
exactly.
You're doing it. Stop.
Something they used to tell us when we was in school, you have to be mindful when you point the finger, because when you point at someone, you have a
For
finger
counting
pointing
back at
back.
you.
There are four pointing back at you. So you really have to be mindful of what it is you say to people or say about people, because it
He's
really
literally
comes back.
counting on his fingers.
It literally comes back to you.
Yep, yep,
And
yes,
then
it does.
you will see certain things, especially for me, like i I knew a lot of people who were gossiping about me, and I look at
Yeah,
them now and I'm like, all right, I could understand why
yeah,
you're in that place you're in, not in a judgmental sense, but it's because you brought so much torment in my life that now your
right,
life is just bare torment.
right. Yeah, that
And you get to see it,
whatever you put out,
you get back.
bet your bottom dollar, according to the
I
oil
can't.
people, bet your bottom dollar it coming back. And if it didn't hit you, it hits your children and the
Yeah.
Exactly.
generations down the road. Don't sow those things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have to. You're not just living life, just vai, like old people say. You're not just living, throw caution to the wind. Hey, every single thing that you do is a seed. Every single thing that you say is a seed, and it grows and it germinates. And when
Hmm.
you keep feeding that and you keep nourishing that, guess what? That seed is growing. You will reap the fruit of that.
Yeah.
You will reap the fruit
Exactly.
of that. It don't make sense. It don't make
Yeah.
sense.
I agree.
You
Yeah.
understand? It don't make sense. So we usually wind down.
You
We
see,
usually wind down with our ending
we
quote.
actually on time this
We are
season.
on
Like,
time. Yeah,
how?
Mm-hmm. It must be. It must be my vision board. We are on time, right? So we wrapping up. We dealt with what it is, the difference between, hey, your life update with your girlfriend or your husband or whatever, the difference between that and what gossip and the addiction to that is. If it's malicious, if it's not serving any purpose, it's not helping in any way, you
Check
should really
yourself.
check yourself and ask, why am I doing it? What is going on internally with me that's making me want to participate in this negative sport, right? It's a
Yeah.
negative pastime. So we winding down with quotes. Should we let our guests
Yeah.
go first?
Simon.
Wind
Simon,
down with quotes.
yeah, we
Quote.
wind down with quotes or something you want to say to end it well.
So I had I really love like proverbs. I think it definitely helps to move in terms of life, and especially with the tongue, because obviously I've opened up
Hmm.
issues. But there's a proverb in chapter 13 verse 3. It says, "Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. Whoever opens wide his lips come to ruin." And
Mm,
it just goes back to what we were saying about, when we speak negativity or speak bad or speak death, it
right.
comes back onto ourselves. And how, when in the first part is, whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. So just to
Hmm.
be mindful of what we say, and how we speak. It's one of my favorite verses, especially with the tongue, which I try to live by myself.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
it's definitely a proverb that we should take in life, in terms of, like, just controlling what we say, and we do have the power to control what we say, how we say, and who we say it to.
Exactly.
And just think that when we throw out words, words have such power. It could
Hmm.
affect. It could affect. It can. Words have so much power. It can change someone's perception, and even it can affect yourself. And we
Yep.
just
Yeah.
need to be very careful about what we say to people, um,
About people.
about people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom.
She said it. Somebody
Yes.
wants to know if you could put these two proverbs in the chat.
Oh, Simon, can you put can you text?
Um,
I don't know if
yeah,
you can text it or see it.
I can put it
We
in the
will we
Facebook.
will post it on the page as
There you
well.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
We'll post it on the page as well. Jace, what's your?
Mine's is make it a habit of shutting down conversations that aim to tear others down.
Hmm.
If you can, um, there is power in, I would say, being the person where it ends.
Hmm.
There's power in that. So I will advise everybody to just be powerful beings, and please just let it stop with you. It doesn't have to go further than that. It really doesn't. And
Right.
if because it doesn't, it don't do good for anybody. It doesn't do good for you. It doesn't good because it takes up space. It takes up space. It takes up space. It takes up energy to even entertain certain conversations sometimes, and it's very draining.
Yeah.
So you have to be that person to say, like, hey, I'm not tearing her down or I'm not tearing him down.
Mm.
So it's gonna end with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So final thought for the night. Lighters. Imaginary lighter. Right. My final thought for the night. It's very simple. Gossip dies when it hits a wise person's ear.
Mhm.
You either
I
choose
gave
to
some
carry
snaps to
that
that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
don't.
snaps.
That's it. It dies when it hits a wise person's ear. So
Yep.
you get to choose whether you're
Yeah.
wise or not, whether you're wise enough to say, it's not doing anything good for that person, even if it is true in the case
Mhm.
of a mistake or somebody's downfall. Is
Mhm.
it wise to me to take this and carry it? What benefit is it for me? How is it going to
Exactly.
benefit that other person? And if it were me, how would I feel?
Exactly.
You
Mm.
know? So,
Yeah, that's definitely something because a lot of people don't consider, like, if that was you, how would you feel if that turned around to be
oh, no,
you?
no,
If
no.
somebody was spreading gossip on you, you know?
Yeah, it's
So
easy to accept. It's easy to spread it, and people are so hurt. when somebody talk about you, but then it's easy for you to talk about other people. Like,
Exactly.
don't do that. Remember what I say
Yep.
about seeds. So
Yeah.
we have come to the end of the
To
episode,
the
ladies and
end
gentlemen.
of the episode.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, normally it's
Right?
always over. We always over
Yes,
like 27 minutes, but
exactly.
this time we've been doing good.
Yes, we're trying. So I truly hope that tonight's conversation would have been enlightening for you,
Mhm.
that you learned something and not just learn something, that you walk away doing some introspection. If this is an area that
Mhm.
you need to work on,
Yeah.
there's no judgment because there are no perfect people,
Break
right?
cycles.
We we have to get it right because the generation after us, they are learning from us. They are going to pattern from us. What are
Yeah.
we carrying over? We're not
Yeah.
doing the postman thing. You're not working city post. Stop it. All
And
right.
over here you're not working Royal Mail.
Don't carry no news
Or UPS
or UPS
or USPS
or one of them. FedEx,
or
all of them,
DHL.
DHL, all
Sorry,
of the
that's
others.
nice plugs. We ain't giving no free
Yeah.
plugs.
That's what I was saying, man. Are we being sponsored?
Oh, but let me just
Right.
say this. Guys, if you're interested in seeing some funny TikTok videos, definitely follow how you call it? How you say it? How you pronounce it? Sig
CG.
TV?
Sick TV. It's Psy G
See, I was close.
IGTV.
I was close, and I got your name right
People
at the end.
keep
I
saying
said
it's Siggy.
Simon. Did you hear Simon? Simon,
Yeah.
did you hear me?
Yeah.
I
So
said your name right.
yeah, you did. Hey, third time's a charm.
Yeah, but definitely, guys, if you want to see some football stuff, if your son's interested in it, he is a streamer. I can tell you that.
Okay.
He is a streamer, so definitely go follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and everything else.
All
Simon,
right,
thank you so much
Jazz.
for joining. No,
It's been
I
my
cannot
pleasure.
think.
Thank you for having me.
I know you've been waiting for this moment. So,
For a year.
all right, let me give you a clap. I'll give you a clap, and everybody can
A
see.
good clap.
Yeah, a good one, not the one that I did before,
Yeah,
right?
give him a standing ovation would be nice.
All right, this one is. I'll give you this.
Oh,
Here's Simon.
love it. Oh,
Thank you so
stop.
much for being on the
Oh,
podcast.
stop.
You're making me blush. Love it. Get out of here.
Shout outs tonight.
Oh, yes. Our usual shout outs. Wow.
Yeah,
That was a senior moment. Our shout outs tonight
definitely.
to all our regulars. Thank you
Regular.
for joining us. Auntie
Thanks, guys.
Beverly, Miss
Yeah.
Allison, Terry Ann, we see you tonight. You were
Taria.
very active. Thank you for coming
Colleen.
on. Curleen. Who else? Hold on. I saw
Sorry, my
Tammy
husband was on
Bling.
here too. So
Right.
big you up, boo.
I saw, oh gosh, Lord, please don't make me forget this man name. Oh my word. I saw Azizi was here.
Yeah,
I saw
Zizi. Hi,
Dolphin
Zizi.
was here. Merlin Charles passed through Curleen Rodriguez. Georgiana.
Georgina. Hi,
Georgina.
Georgie.
Georgina. So come up with up to man. Good night.
Good night,
Um
guys.
yeah, good night to
Oh,
everybody.
Brill
Thank
was
you for coming
here.
out.
Hi, Brill.
Thank you for coming
Taddy Boom.
out.
Taddy Boom
Oh,
said, look at Taddy
thank
Boom.
you.
I came just
Boom.
for JC.
Try your best, please. Please behave as on here.
Taddy Boom. You know we did it the last time. Let me see if my mic.
Oh, hi, Miss Sharon. Good night.
Hi, Brill. Look at Brill. I was talking about Brill is my sister.
Oh, I was gonna say someone just
Yeah.
called
Thank
That's
you.
my sister.
should we ban her?
All right, thank you guys. So we're about to end. I did a whole brand for the end. So y'all ready? Y'all ready for the ending?